Ryan Neiman, Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, today's newsmakers, and you. The Morning Majority, 630. WMAL.
It is 7:37 on the Morning Majority. Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, Mary Catherine Ham, and joining us on the phone line. Let's get right to it so we have time to ask a lot of penetrating, important questions. Former Senator Rick Santorum from Pennsylvania, presidential candidate, joins us now here on the Morning Majority. Senator, good to have you with us.
Good morning, Brian, and Mary Catherine. Good to be talking to you guys.
I like that, Brian's. That's just
right.
the easy way to handle it. Look, Senator, you spent 17 years in Congress, 12 of those in the United States Senate. I've always said that anybody who can win an election statewide in Pennsylvania has got some political skills. It's a very difficult state to run in statewide, and yet you did it successfully on 2 different occasions. So I know you've got political skills, and I know you know how to figure things out and how to find the right combination to win. And yet when I look at your poll numbers, in all fairness, in Iowa right now, the people the social conservatives seem to be drawn to right now are Michelle Bachmann and not Rick Santorum. Now, I know you're going to say all polls don't mean anything, but they do mean something. And so my question is, what is your pathway to victory in the all-important state of Iowa?
Yeah, they sure do mean something, but they also mean something, closer to the election. They do 6 or 7 months, actually 7 or 8 months before the election is going to be held. And, as you know, we are running a very grassroots campaign. If you look at that poll that you referred to that just came out last week, my name recognition is lower than anybody else in the race. We have a lot of room for growth. And as we travel around Iowa, and I made 21 visits there, we're signing up volunteers. If I wasn't getting the kind of enthusiastic support and people signing up and willing to help, and every time I'm in a type of forum, whether it's a debate forum or others, that we end up doing very well, and we've won some straw polls when they've had a chance to look at all the candidates. My feeling is this is a marathon, not a sprint. They're going to be flares, they're going to be flavors of the month, they're going to be, shiny engines. They're going to come up and offer to pull the train over the mountain. What we're going to do is just keep chugging along, just be that little engine that could, and building a grassroots base. And our message is a strong one. It's being well received, and more importantly. And you know this, Brian, because you've covered me for years. And I was an authentic, consistent conservative throughout the course of my time.
Yes, you have been. That's true.
I was a leader. I was able to lead on very difficult issues, from reforming entitlements to moral cultural issues to national security. And in every one of those issues, I was able to get bipartisan support and able to bring people along in a way that you don't see very much in Washington. So my feeling is the more people get to see Rick Santorum, I mean, there'll be folks who get a lot of attention and make a big splash. But I'm going to go out there and show about my record, go out there, make the case, paint a vision for the future, and I feel very confident that come February we're going to be in pretty good shape.
All right, let me pick up on that train analogy. It seems to me we have 2 trains that are headed right for each other. The Democrats and the president's plan on how to fix the debt, and then the Republicans' plan on how to fix the debt. The president in his press conference yesterday pretty much drew a line in the sand saying, hey, we need to raise taxes. Republicans don't want to raise taxes. I wanted to get your thoughts on the president's press conference yesterday and pretty much his mandate that we need to raise taxes in order to get a deal done.
It was the most ugly partisan press conference I think I've ever seen. I mean, this is a president who was supposed to be this transformational figure. Remember, no red state, no blue state. Here he is talking about Republican constituencies and Democrat constituencies. You talk about guys dividing America. I've never seen a president go out there and chastise one party and say, go to your constituencies, as if that's how he views America, as parts of group. It's this class warfare, dividing, trying to pit folks who have corporate jets against people who care about their children. I mean, it was ugly. It was ugly from a president of the United States to do this kind of thing. And I would say that he didn't move the ball forward at all. He actually dug the trenches deeper. And what I suggested yesterday, I wrote an op-ed for Politico, the way out of this thing is, instead of trying to get dollar for dollar, get as much as you can, but what you really need to do is say to President Obama, look, you obviously don't have the stomach to do this, so let's do something that's going to require a budget to be balanced after you're gone. And so let's pass a balanced budget amendment. You won't have to worry about it, Mr. President. You're going to have to upset your constituents, and let's pass one. Let's put a date certain. It's 2 to 3 years to pass to get it ratified.
Right.
Another 5 years before it's implemented. So you've got 8 years to get to a balanced budget. The Senate, 47 senators stood up and said, we're for this balanced budget. Then the 47 Republican senators should draw a line in the sand and say, we will not raise the debt ceiling until we get this amendment passed and sent to the states.
Well, McConnell has been talking about this balanced budget amendment. You've been in the Senate. Is there any chance of that actually happening?
There's only a chance if 41 senators say no. Yeah. We're not going to raise the debt ceiling. It's going to be painful. It's going to be hard. But if the great thing about this balanced budget amendment, it's no immediate pain, and that's something Democrats hate. And so you're giving them an option to get out without doing anything that's really, really painful for them. And that to me, and they can always fight it in the states. All we're saying is give the states a chance to do something to constrain the federal government. They can go out and work against it if they want, but at least we put something in place that requires a balanced budget, which I think is going to be the key to the long-term security of our country.
All right, states' rights has been in vogue in the last couple of months, certainly within the Republican Party. Hey, let the states take care of certain laws and keep the federal government out of things. You're a social conservative. You don't apologize for that. You get high marks from social conservatives, always have. Why do you feel it necessary, though, to have a constitutional amendment? I want you to make the case for a constitutional amendment that essentially bans gay marriage or defines marriage between a man and a woman. Why not leave it up to the states to let them determine how they want to do that?
Because you can't have a hodgepodge law when it comes to an essential element of society. Marriage is between a man. Okay, Brian, how would you feel if a state decided tomorrow to pass a polygamy law? Would you say, leave it up to the states? How if they passed some other marriage law that says you can marry whatever, you can marry your father? Would you say, leave it up to the states? Of course you would. Why? Because marriage is something. You can say we're going to redefine marriage. That doesn't change what marriage is. Marriage is the union between a man and a woman, and it's essential for the survival of society to have men associated with women for the purpose of raising children and creating an economic unit that can be most beneficial to them, to create an environment that is safe and secure and nurturing. And so this is an assault that I believe at the very core of America, and you cannot have a hodgepodge where one state says this is what marriage is, another state says. So when you travel from state to state, what laws do you have? When the federal government provides benefits to people, what laws do you have to pay attention to? It won't work. You have to have something as essential as marriage has to be uniformly defined. I disagree with some of my Republican colleagues who said they wouldn't get into these state debates. I would engage in those state debates. It is essential for the security of our country, for the future of our children, to have a uniform definition of marriage.
Well, Senator, I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. It's always good to have you on the program. Please come back and visit with us again as you go down this journey toward seeking the presidency. We really appreciate you joining us.
Thank you, guys, guys and gals, very, very much. I appreciate it.
Talk to you soon.
Rick Santorum, 2012 GOP contender here on the Morning Majority, and the people listening to the audience know that I actually wouldn't have a problem with making polygamy legal as well.